Good evening, everybody. This is a very impromptu live that I wanted to definitely allow and let the beautiful Miss Crystal, who has really been very, I believe, traumatized by the Michael Vaughan case, being close to, uh, at one time, the mother, Brandy Neal. And, over time, we have really tried our best to be as cordial and candid as possible with this case, but with missing children's cases, it's hard. We all know it. It's damn near impossible sometimes to be 100% perfect when we come at them. But there is another level to it when you are close to someone with the best of intentions and then doing the right thing for Michael, and then getting retaliation. You guys all know that I'm getting the nth degree right now for going on panel and stuff like that. So I really think that this is important for Miss Crystal to get out what she feels, because she can't really defend herself. She doesn't have the opportunity. So I'm going to give her that opportunity because I think that it eats away at us if we don't get that frustration out. So I'm going to go ahead and let her kind of take over and express how you feel.
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time and letting me do this. I truly appreciate you. So I'm really irritated to the fact that I have not said anything in months publicly. Nothing. I have retweeted missing flyers of Michael. That's it. I don't say anything publicly on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, nothing. No comments, nothing. I don't say anything publicly about Michael or his family at all. I have kept quiet. I have not said a word. And to find out, I've been gone all day today. I've been busy doing things. To come home, my notifications are blowing up. I decided to take a second, check them, and find out that I'm being talked about on YouTube tonight by Brandy, who is the one that has a missing child. And it really frustrates me that I haven't said a word in months, and she is still so hung up on me that she's more worried about talking about me on YouTube to her friends than she is about looking for her son. And it really, really upsets me because Michael could be sitting somewhere crying his eyes out for his mommy and his daddy every single day. And she is more worried about sitting on YouTube, chatting it up, and talking nothing but drama with other people about me and everybody else that is doing everything in their power with their free time to find her missing child because she's not. And it really infuriates me. The fact that, oh, I recorded her. There's only little snippets of recordings out. Okay, whatever. Yes, I recorded Brandy. Sue me. I'm not I already knew that I was in a state where I could record. She was in a state where I could record. Everything that I did was not against the law. I already checked with my law enforcement. I already spoke to the FBI about it, told them what state I live in. They told me everything I did was perfectly legal. There was nothing wrong with what I did. And
And I
I
can
knew,
verify that. Mm-hmm.
right. So I knew that what I was doing was fine. Was I working with everybody beforehand when I was talking to Brandy? No, I was not. I was talking to Brandy because I felt that Brandy needed a friend. I honestly, truly felt that Brandy needed someone. She needed somebody on her side to help her find her son. I started talking to Brandy in late November, early December, and I didn't start recording Brandy until the middle of January because that's when things started not adding up. That's when Brandy started changing the timeline again and again and again about Michael. There's like 500 different timelines. I have 7 written down myself from the way she's changed the timeline. Tyler has never, not one time, changed his story. And when he spoke publicly the other day on KTVB, was that the one? In
Mm-hmm.
the front yard. Okay. When he spoke out and said what happened and they released the entire thing, Tyler's story has not changed since the day since the day I started talking to them. It never changed. Brandy's the one that changed Tyler's timeline. Brandy's the one that said different times of what Tyler was doing and where Tyler was at. And there's plenty of recordings to prove that Brandy changed those things multiple times. Plenty of recordings that say, oh, he was this time. Oh, wait, no, it was this time. Oh, wait, no, it was this time. And the dates are right there where it's like the 6th of one day and then it's like the 8th of the other day, and the whole timeline has changed. And so there's plenty of evidence to back up that these are facts coming from Brandy's mouth. It doesn't have to come from law enforcement. It's coming from the mother of a missing child's mouth. How much more factual can you get? Like these are the words from her. This is what she says. Whether they are snippets of the recordings that I have or they are the full recording, it's still Brandy's mouth. It's still coming from Brandy. Everything that was said came from Brandy. So it doesn't matter if it's the full recording that people are putting out or not. Yeah, some of the recordings aren't the full recordings. Do I have them? Absolutely. I have them. But no, not everybody in the public has heard them because the FBI has them. So no, everything hasn't been put out publicly. It doesn't need to be heard by the public. The people that need it are the FBI. It's in the right hands. So that was, when people were like, oh, they don't even want her information. Yeah, you know what? Maybe they said that they didn't want it, but I made sure they had it. I made sure I gave it to them regardless.
Right.
They definitely have it because I wasn't taking no for an answer. This is a missing child. I wasn't taking no for an answer. I couldn't. I mean, I'm just really frustrated at the fact that I haven't said a word about her in months. And to find out, like, I was in there for 2 minutes and I took 6 different screenshots of my name from different people talking about me. And facts, they think I'm the babysitter. Are you kidding me?
I know. I know. I have to
I live
correct this every day. Yeah.
I live on the East Coast. They live on the West Coast. No, I'm not the babysitter. I'm the one that was talking to Brandy and recorded Brandy. I'm not the babysitter. I've never met Brandy or Michael or anybody in that family. Never personally in person met them. I've only ever talked to them on video chat or the phone, and I've never spoken to Michael. I talked to them after Michael went missing. So I've never gotten the pleasure of speaking to Michael.
Hey, real quick, Maligator is in the chat. I just got off of a live with Jay is for Justice, and please go check that lovely live out. Your girl Eve had to jump in there and be like, wait, let's just not get the misinformation out there. Cause I'm trying to protect Michael Vaughan's case for Michael. And, this lovely lady right here on panel is a majority of the reason for that. Like, we have to give her some big kudos and some big hearts, Crystal, for doing what you've done. I know it's not easy. She stayed quiet for months and months, minding her business, sharing the flyers that Brandy only wanted people to do. Just focus on that and let law enforcement do their thing. And that can't be easy at all. I know it hasn't been easy, and it's not okay to be ostracized for doing the right thing, especially by her, by Brandy. So that's what we're doing here. I'm glad you're here, Alligator. So go ahead, Crystal. I'm sorry. I just wanted to clear that up and say hello.
No, this is your live. Don't you apologize to me. No, and I have said it before. I'll say it again and again and again. If I am wrong, I will be the first to admit it. I will be the first to publicly apologize to this family if I am wrong. But the way that when I started speaking to them and I started talking to them and the things that I tried to help them do and the things that they denied help with, they can say that they didn't. That's fine. I've got the screenshots and stuff to back up the fact that they denied those things. They denied that help. And the fact that they're doing all of this stuff now since I stopped talking to them, great. If you want to use me and say that I was the one that stopped you and you're doing it all now, I don't care. Use me. Michael's face and name is out there. Everybody hears him. Use me all you want. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I'm not losing sleep over that at night. I'm actually sleeping better because I know that Michael's face is out there and somebody is going to see something or know something, and hopefully he is found and there is justice served for what has happened to him. Because at the end of the day, he is what matters. It's not Brandy that matters. It's not Tyler. It's not anybody else. It's Michael that matters. I don't care. And I might sound heartless, but I don't care about anybody but Michael. And I have gotten into some big fights with some people that I now love and work with daily on Michael's case. I cannot apologize to these people enough that I have literally gotten into like screaming matches over Twitter with these people. And now I have come to find out that they are some of the most big hearted people I've ever met, and would literally give the shirt off of their back to somebody. And it's just, it's baffling that anybody that's trying to help Michael, anybody that's trying to get his name out there, if you're not following what Brandy is saying, you're wrong and you're a bad person. And that shouldn't be how it is. It shouldn't matter who says what, as long as his name and his face is out there. Worry about what everybody's saying once your son is found. Like it doesn't, just do
Oh,
whatever you need to do.
that's
Whatever you
beautiful.
need to do.
I've been trying to get like the best one liner quote to say, and that was it. Like, worry about it later after the fact when you find your son.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to come, if you want to come to me and you want to hit me after your son's found, I'll let you. Just find your son first, because he's what matters. I am somebody that, I have 4 kids of my own and 3 stepkids, and I am still, all of my free time is looking for your son. I don't want credit for that. I don't even want to thank you. But my God, not everybody in the world is going to be like that. But you should have a heart and gratitude for the people that are taking time out of their day every single day to look for your son. I mean, I know somebody that works a full-time job, and still, while they're at work, looks for her son on a daily basis, and has some of the most detailed, probably more detailed than law enforcement's timelines that I've ever seen in my life. Like it's incredible to even look at. And I like look at it and I'm just like, okay, this is going to take me a month to look at because there's so much information here. But they take the time to listen to every single news press conference, um, every single recording, every single spaces from Twitter, every post, and they put it all together. Like they take their time. And it's just, it's incredible. Like, I don't understand how any parent that has a missing child could have hatred towards somebody like that. I just,
Right.
it, it baffles me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean the it's almost like they're waiting in the wings for you to say one thing wrong, maybe not even related to Michael, or maybe um there was a small little bitty detail that is kind of speculative that you have to kind of assume, and then I can say that this is just my speculation, and boy oh boy, it's like
That's what they
I
run with.
took Michael myself. It's like you might as well just say that
Exactly.
at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, everybody speculates. Everybody has theories. Everybody, I mean, there are, there's, there's 2 sides. There's a side that is on Brandy's side. There's a side that's not on Brandy's side. It's just how it is. It's like that with every case. It's always going to be like that. Everybody's never going to always be on the exact same page. It's just, that's how it is. And I understand that. And I never, when I was on Brandy's side, I never tried to change anybody's mind. I put out what Brandy said was factual and truthful when she told me to put it out, and that was all I did. I never tried to change anybody's mind. I always just said, look, this is what mom says. I can't argue with what mom says because I don't know any better than to argue with what mom says. But when these people that I was arguing with that said, hey, no, that's not right, showed me facts like call logs, like, no, what mom's saying is wrong, I'm like, well, now we got a problem. And I would go to Brandy, like, so we got an issue. Well, what's the issue? Well, there's a 911 call log out now that says that Tyler called 911 at 7:21, not 7:10. Now what?
Right.
And then it was, well, let me go to the police station and find out. And then she'd come back and she'd say, well, it was at 7:20, not 7:21. That call log's forged. I said, okay, well, I'm going to have you on the phone and I'm going to request him myself. So I had her on the phone. I called, I requested him. I got a copy and I said, well, so it says 7:21 on this one too. And she's like, well, hell, I guess it was 7:21. And it's just like, that's 11 minutes different than what you said. So we have an issue
Yeah.
because now everything that you said, all of those times have to be shifted in order to fit what you said. Otherwise, nothing adds up. Like and I was like, okay, so, and I'm sure, I mean, I know there's recordings out there where you can hear me say, oh, you're changing your story again, or I don't want to do this. I don't want to make another timeline, because it literally, there's so many timelines. There's so many
Oh
different
yeah.
stories that Brandy has said,
Mm-hmm.
and there, I've asked her a million times, what time did you get home? Like, do you know, like, a roundabout, like, what time did you get home? I have been on video chat with her when she left her job and when she got to that red light that she said she stopped at. I timed her and I told her, I'm going to time it and see how long it takes you. She's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I timed her from the red light and she was stopped at the red light. So from the time it was red till it turned green till she got in her driveway, it took her 5 minutes and 35 seconds. If she hung up with Tyler at 7:14, that puts her home at the 911 call time, not
Mm-hmm.
to the full blown search, or even when she changed the story and said Tyler was in the driveway talking to an officer. How if he was on the phone with 911 on Cornwall Way at that time?
And she took the Jeep to work that day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember you saying it wasn't normal, or not normal, but like whoever got to use the vehicle, the Jeep, because that was probably, the better one to use, right? More
Yeah,
preferable.
it was kind of like they fought over who got to drive it. Whoever got in it first got to drive it that day. That was the nicer one of the two
Okay.
that they have.
Gotcha. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that there has been at least a few tips, I'm sure, because of the drama, if you will, regarding being around Brandy and then speaking out for Michael. It doesn't matter about the feelings of parents in these situations. That is their responsibility. It is the responsibility also of the parents to be forthcoming, honest, and fight like hell. Not fight like hell with other people on freaking YouTube. That's why we're having these doxing issues. That's not us.
No,
It's the
and
drama.
I completely 100,000% understand people that feel bad for Brandy and Tyler. I do too. I'm a mother. How could I not? I feel bad that your child is gone. Like, whether you know what happened to him or you don't, I feel awful for you, because I am a mother and I don't know how I would act or what I would do if my child was missing. Like, I would lose my freaking mind. And I just,
Hmm.
so I do still feel for them. And it can't be easy, whether you know what happened to him and you're holding on to that burden, or you have no clue and somebody really did take your son and you are lost. I feel like I feel bad for them. It's not that I'm not a heartless person, but I just know that the changing of the times, the changing of the events that day, the changing of little details didn't add up to me as a human, as a mother. Like, I understand, I can understand if Michael was last seen wearing a blue shirt and it was actually red. I could completely understand that, because I'm not sure that I would remember what color shirt my kid left with if I was in a panic state of mind trying to remember and just being told that my son is missing. I could completely understand something like that. I really could. But
Right, right.
at the beginning, I tried to say things like, hey, before we put out these timelines, why don't we look at the call logs on your phone so that the times can't ever change if we've got those, no, I know the call was made at 7:10. I know that he called me at this time. I know that this happened. Okay. All right. So let me make this timeline. And then it was, oh wait, here's my call logs and all those times are different. And it's like, okay, so now what? Because none of what I just put out makes you look good at all. You just look like you threw a bunch of times together and now we all look bad. So then,
Right.
I'd make another timeline and she would say, well, you can post it. No, you can post this because I'm not posting anything. No, no way. No, thank you. No, ma'am. I'm not going through
Exactly.
that again.
I mean, I just got slammed, and not trying to take away from you, honey. I'm just saying I got slammed, and they want to ruin my Equisearch, my free volunteer time to go search for missing. They would rather me change my tune or shut up, or I'm going to get my child's daycare exposed and my child's face out there on multiple platforms so that suspicious people will come and harm him.
That happened to you?
Yes.
You're joking,
This is
right?
no, this is
Be-
cult behavior. This is criminal.
because you were
Speak
gonna
out.
have EquiSearch help find Michael.
No, just the mere fact that I'm speaking out and speaking for Michael and not catering to the narrative or the feelings of the parents, they want to sabotage my EquiSearch uh, ground searches.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have
I mean,
done nothing to deserve that at all.
no, just like when I spoke out, my past got posted on Twitter. Yep, I have a past. Am I a hard criminal? No. Have I ever been to prison? No. Have I ever done drugs? No. Like yes, I have charges for theft. That it if you read into my charges for theft, it was theft by association or whatever they called it because I was with somebody who stole and I didn't say anything. That was what my charge was. And then receiving stolen property. It actually wasn't me. It was somebody that I lived with. But I took the fall for him. But that's fine. I didn't steal a child. I didn't murder somebody. I didn't, you know, I didn't do
Yeah,
anything hard and criminal like. But
right.
my past got exposed because I spoke out for Michael. And that's fine. I expected that, before I even spoke out. I said, I know it's probably going to get bad for me, but whatever, that's fine. I can handle it. And I did. I didn't lash out at anybody for exposing it. You want to expose it, go for it. I don't care. That's fine.
Here's the thing, and I will slam the shit out of some of these creators that she mods for. They don't even have the right information. Get your shit straight and get your facts right. You didn't even know what color his shirt was. You didn't even know what he was wearing, what day he was missing. I don't know if you were nodding off on your own little whatever, but get your shit right and stop telling me to get my shit right and her shit right and leave the parents alone when you can't even open your eyes and
And
do a whole life without mumbling. I
Michael
said
is
what I
from
said.
Fruitland, Idaho, not Fruitland, Ohio. Let me say that again. He's from Idaho, not Ohio. I mean, saying that we have our
I
facts
know, I
wrong.
heard that too.
I mean,
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm not trying to be petty. I know you're not trying to be petty, but that's the
no.
misinformation that it just so happens to be easy for them to do. And I'm not going to sit here and let some bully lower level channels that just talk about trauma drama all day and start fights with Ziggy all damn day. You're not going
Right.
to do it
But
and think that
what
that's okay.
I'm not here trying to be petty like you said. I'm not. But where Michael's from is very important. That's a fact that cannot be changed no matter which way you look at it. So when you put out misinformation and say he's from Ohio, not Idaho, that's a huge difference in everything. Yeah, but that's okay to put out because you agree with Brandy. But what I have put out that is Brandy's own word of mouth is not factual. So what you're doing right there is you're contradicting everything you're saying. You're saying we believe Brandy, but when you hear Brandy's mouth say these things, you don't believe it. They're misinformation. It's not factual information that I'm putting out. Why? Because it's me. What if Brandy posted those recordings? You'd believe every word of it. No matter
Right.
how you look at it, Brandy still said them.
Right. And
So are the
honestly, you made a good point the other day, that and a lot of other people too, that maybe, just maybe, does Tyler know about these timeline changes going on during these conversations on Twitter Spaces? Is he aware?
I mean, Tyler was there for some of the spaces, but and a lot of the video chats, Tyler was there sometimes, but a lot of the times when we talked, Tyler was at work. Tyler worked a lot, and or he was inside with the baby while Brandy was in the shop talking to us on video chat. I mean, I'm not saying Tyler was never around. I'm sure he heard some of it, but I don't even know if Tyler was completely paying attention. A lot of times he was on his phone playing games. So it was like he was like, girl chat, don't want no part of that." And just kind of, was like there with Brandy, but not there with Brandy. Like
Right.
I don't think he was like listening to everything that was being said. I think he was just kind of, I mean, there
Yeah.
was even times when she would joke like, "Oh, there goes Tyler. Nope, he ain't about this conversation." And um we would all just laugh because there were times that, it was complete girl chat. It was nothing about Michael because obviously we figured she needed a space to just to vent and talk about other things besides Michael for a minute or two. And we found that to be completely normal. So we would talk about other things and then we would talk about Michael too. So when we would have the girly chats, Tyler was like, nope, I don't want no part of this. And he would just take off and go in the house, which I didn't find as awkward at all.
Right. I added Jen Hanna, who is the former babysitter for Michael. She is a wonderful human being. Um, no matter what people kind of speculate or say, I don't care. We're going to be respectful in the chat, and I want to bring her on. And she's also going through the same thing Crystal is, where she's had enough of the bull. They're getting slammed and getting, um, I guess, defamed in a sense. But you got to understand, she doesn't have a missing child. No matter what the past is on anybody, Brandy and Tyler have a missing child.
And
The
the
other
thing with
kids in the
Hannah,
home are missing their brother. And this is
and
what we have to deal
yeah,
with.
and the thing with Hannah, while everybody wants to keep crucifying her, what no one really understands is Hannah passed her polygraph. Tyler failed too. Explain that while everybody's bashing Hannah so much.
Yeah. I mean, I respect channels or like Chris Madonna and the lab and those types of channels. I do to kind of be um, dishonest and forthcoming, but this isn't. This is what's happening in the background. You're seeing people's lives are devastated. They're having to move. They're having to change their entire plan of what they wanted for their lives because they're devastated. And these parents, one is too scared to speak up, and that's kind of ironic to me. Look who's the aggressor, and the other one, her, she's on panel talking crap about the people who care. That's not okay, and I want Crystal and Jen Hannah to let it all out. This is the night. Jen, you're muted if you wanted to say something.
I'm still steaming. They're still spewing nothing but lies about me, and it's really pissing me off now. And I'm just good. I just read somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I was talking about how Tyler passed his or failed his polygraph." I never said anything about Tyler failing his polygraph. I didn't even know Tyler failed his polygraph until I went on that Spaces. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know.
Right,
And
and
people are
you were
saying that I said that, and all this other shit, and how, because I volunteered to watch the kids for free, I'm just, oh, look at me, I'm a fucking saint. No, I am not. Sorry. Get your button ready. I'm mad.
no. I'm let it out. You did great. No matter what I saw, the videos I saw, you did wonderful. You were going to help get Michael on a schedule for free to help
Yeah.
them. Tyler,
Yeah.
and I will say this for Tyler. Tyler, you should have fucking done better for her. You should have done better for Jen Hannah, and you know it. And Brandy too. You know it.
Oh, they hate me so much right now, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah,
Because
I kind of
they
went off the rails. I kind of went off the rails in the beginning, and just spewing out everything that I knew from what Tyler told me. Anything that I then redacted or changed the information of was because Brandy said, no, it was actually this way. At this point,
they needed somewhere to
anything.
deflect the
I
blame, Jen.
don't.
Sorry, Jen, say that again. What you were saying, it cut out.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm going in and out of Wi-Fi and stuff. I had to come out to the car because I didn't want to scare the gentleman I'm taking care of. I knew I'd get a little too emotional. I was saying that all the information that I put out in the very beginning, I had 4 direct sources. I had Tyler first. I got a little bit from, I believe you call her Blue. I got quite a bit. I got a bit from her. I then later changed stuff when I did redact my information and changed certain details. It was because Brandy said, "Oh, nope, 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 it was this way." Oh, okay. So I fixed that. Other information I threw out was, just tidbits from Ellie. And then when I heard your spaces earlier, I about lost my crap completely with that one, with the other report that came in 4 hours later.
Yeah.
I threw up. I threw up again, just immediately. I'm all, wait.
Yeah. I did that because of the hate. I did that because of the hate, and I didn't want to. I, talked to some of the girls, the Twitter weasels, if you will, and it was a hard one because that could be potentially something of interest. However, it's not with the prosecutor's office, so I felt like it was safe. However, they underestimate my channel. They underestimate how it's ran and who does what and what goes out in a sense of to protect Michael's case. Crystal doesn't give anything willy-nilly that she has, sent to law enforcement. We're not a bunch of boneheads. We are mothers. We are humans. We have a heart. Our hearts are broken for this little boy. And my heart is broken for Jennifer Hannah and the siblings that were closest to Michael. I'm sorry, Brandy. I'm going to tell you right now, and Tyler, y'all are both outnumbered when it comes to people who have said good things versus concerning things about those children. I'm just going to say it. But you know what? I shut my mouth. I didn't go that route. I wanted to stick to the facts. But if you keep hurting the people that we're trying to help, that is criminal in itself, and you know it. And I want to say that. And I'm not gonna bash on it or harsh on it anymore after tonight. Tonight is to get it out. Because we're not gonna listen to your all's bullshit over there anymore.
Exactly, Dope. That's what I've been saying, is there's so much that hasn't been put out because we want to respect Michael's case and not put everything out. So there's so many more recordings that nobody's even heard, and if they did, they would be like, okay, maybe I should rethink this entire thing. But I'm not somebody that's trying to go after Brandy and Tyler. I'm somebody that's trying to find Michael. So the recordings that are important have gone to the FBI because that's the kind of stuff that they need, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones that can actually do something with them.
I'm just so angry. I mean, they keep spewing all this hate towards me, and I have remained vigilant and positive that no harm came to Michael because of their hand. My heart still believes that. My brain's telling my heart it's an idiot and shut up. It does that a lot. But I don't understand. It's like I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I couldn't take care of myself, and yet here I am. I'm according to Brandy, a narcissist, all capital letters.
No, honey, that's deflection. I
mean, if that were the case, I wouldn't give 2 rats ass. I'd be like, oh, sorry about your kid, bye, and bounce. But I didn't. I was there until my life got threatened. I was there until, my husband was being threatened. I was there until, somebody threatened to come poison the cats. I was there until somebody threatened to rip up our backyard, which probably would have helped. But I'm not there anymore, so I don't care. Go back. Yeah, go rip up the house. I don't care. People were saying, well, she's going to be at that the prayer meetings for Michael. We know where she's going to be. We can get her anytime. Are you kidding? I mean, I think that group's gone now, but Jesus.
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
I mean, I was planning, I would still be doing those prayer circles right now. Prayer circles, that's what they were. I'd still be doing them to this day if it wasn't for all of this hate that's been spewed and the lies. You know, like they told people I was stealing from them. What would I steal from them that I didn't already have?
Oh my goodness, Jen, by the way. I don't know if I even had a chance to talk to you. You know what? Remind me, and I will tell you what my 10-year-old daughter said about that.
I will.
Yeah,
Seriously,
it's
like she has one of the best theories that I have ever heard, and it came from a 10-year-old little girl.
That's
Like
awesome.
it blew my mind.
She's also the one who made the bracelets that the rest of us didn't get, huh? Isn't she? Wasn't she?
Yeah, she can't. She's cleaning her room
I,
and going through it at her dad's because she lost them. She made them and she lost them.
oh no.
Yeah, so she's like,
Oh,
if I can't find them, I'll make new ones, mommy.
that's so sweet. I'll send her. What's her medium? What is she using? I'll send it to her.
No, she doesn't want anything. Um she just wants Michael found. That's her thing. She asks about him every day. Did you find Michael yet, mommy? Well, she calls him Monkey. Did you find Monkey yet, mommy? Not today, baby.
hey Josh from the lab. He is stopping by to say hello. I hope, Josh, that you kind of watch from the beginning if you're just jumping in now to catch up so that you can get the full context, because you know that it seems dramatic and drama and drama, but this is not what this is. What this live is about is expressing the pure, and this is just me speaking, so guys, if I'm wrong, tell me, but the rage, the emotions, the heartbreak, and all of those things, the sadness during this case for Michael to try to get justice for, and just to be slammed over and over, especially tonight. There's a breaking point, and I want these lovely women to be able to express that, you know, and be heard, not just having to sit in silence with it. These women have had to sit in silence, you know, and I feel like sometimes maybe even the children in the home might, you know, because you, specifically you, Jen, you were around. And so
Yeah.
I know that you can't speak to the kids, right? Like you have no contact at all with the family.
No, none. And
Wow.
even if I saw the older kids out and about, I wouldn't dare approach them. I mean, I wouldn't put them.
Sorry, say that one that one part lap again.
Um, I'm out and about and I happen to see the kids, I won't dare approach them. But if they approach me, I sure as hell won't push them away.
Right. I mean, that's just, I think, mommy nature, human nature to do,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. So kind of the
Just the
context for,
things that, sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say some of the things. Sorry, I just read a question. Subterranean truth. Yeah, that kid ate like a freaking crazy horse. There was no stopping him from eating. He just has an extremely high metabolism and his energy level was through the roof. Wouldn't go as far to say ADHD. He can actually find focus on things, but he's just crazy high energy.
I was gonna say my 10-year-old looks he looks a lot like Michael, and he's thin too. That kid is just all over the place all the time.
Anybody got a lighter?
I do. You need one?
Yeah, do it this way. Okay. No, so I mean, somebody else brought up video cameras. I can go into that at another time, as to what that neighborhood looked like with video cameras back in that day. It was like, oh, there had to be video cameras everywhere. Everybody has door cams. No, not here. not here. Even on the block I'm on right now, I've seen 3, and the only 3, oh, damn it.
I
My
mean,
back.
Brandy even backed you up on that. Brandy even said that
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of cameras
Hey,
out there.
Scott H.
Let me do this. Okay, I just turned off my Wi-Fi, so hopefully it'll stop bouncing me back and forth.
Yeah, I think that sounds better. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah. Have you experienced any more threats, even though that you had moved away from that area?
no, I turned off my Facebook. I haven't really been back. I've been back like a handful of times. I mean, I do still have some social obligations over there that I try and follow through with whenever I can. I had to skip out this week for personal reasons. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that it had at least died down a little bit and that you can kind of be on the mend, if you will.
Yeah, I was thinking so for a minute. That would be, well, let's just say people really close to Brandy, as far as who's threatening me. Other people who were threatening me before was random internet people in this really stupid, hateful group that I regret ever being a part of.
Well, I'll say this too. People need to understand you weren't even with Michael the day he went missing. You weren't babysitting that day.
Nope.
His dad was watching him that day. You weren't even babysitting him that day.
And
I wish
Crystal,
I
you
was.
actually proved, not officially, guys, by law enforcement, but you proved where she was. Like, you helped get that information, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I have recordings that people that were threatening Jen had secretly recorded her and sent to me, and I had played them for Brandy. And everything that Jen said in these recordings, and I mean, one of them's like an hour and 40 some minutes long, Brandy agreed with a 98% of everything she said. Like, she was like, yeah, yeah, like, that's right, that's right. And it's like, how are you saying that all of these things Jen did, but everything Jen says happened? I mean, she would say, like, no, it was this time, not that time. But for the most part, everything that Jen said, Brandy was like, yeah, that's right. Well, she got that right. And, even the whole um ordering the pizza, when Jen made a comment in one of the recordings, like, oh my God, the stupid pizza thing. Like, she was like, I'm so tired of hearing about the pizza thing. And even Brandy laughed, and even Brandy was laughing, and she was like, even Jen understands that how the pizza was ordered isn't a big deal. And I'm just like, I'm just sitting there like baffled, like, are you kidding me? We're blaming Jen here, but we're agreeing with Jen in the same sentence. I'm not understanding.
I have one question. What was the 2% she disagreed with? Do you recall?
Oh, I would have to go back and look. I mean, I would know it. Actually, wait, it might be in my notes. Hold on.
Well, this can wait. I'm just curious. I want to know where I got it wrong to cause all this hate.
Real quick, thank you, the lab, for becoming a YouTube member of the evening crew. I'm going to sing you a little song real quick. Thank you for being a friend. You're the best.
Thank you for being a friend.
I can't wait to do a members only where we do the spooky dookie box and see what the future holds for the lab. Speaking of that, I saw your community post that you were maybe moving on, and that makes me sad. Yeah, that wasn't singing. No, I agree.
He
I
has a
agree.
point.
Decline in the weight? No. But that is one more thing. There's no way how Michael weighed 50 pounds. I was able to pick him up and toss him around at the time he disappeared. So if he weighed 50 pounds, I wouldn't have been able to lift him. Just want to throw that one out there.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay, first of all, can we just clear up the air that I am pretty sure someone would have seen you, Jen, for all the people that are like, it was the babysitter. She was there. And they're really confusing who the babysitter even is, first of all,
Yeah.
which is Jen. And
Yeah.
somebody would have seen her car there. Somebody would have seen her walking in and out of the house. That's just hogwash. Please, no one spread that around. Just wanted to say that.
Oh, okay. So one of the things that was said was when you had said that oldest daughter that Tyler had jumped out and scared her thinking that was Monkey. Brandy didn't know that, and she thought that you were lying about that until Tyler told her that he remembered that happening.
Right.
So that was one of the things that she that was in that recording that she was like, no, that did not happen. And then Tyler was like, wait, yeah, it did. I remember that. He's like, I didn't remember it until she said that, but yeah, that did happen. I do remember that.
Right. So where would that information have come from me?
That I don't know who told you, but I know
Yeah. I
that
mean,
they.
there's only one person who could have told me that I would have ran with that.
Yes. Okay. So
Just
I
putting
know
it
who you're
out there.
talking about. I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about now because that's where she told them that's who she told as well.
Right. That's also
So
why I also said that she believed that Michael was in the shop playing with his cars. It's also where I got that information from. Same source. She assumed that because the shop door was left open. When they're not in there, the shop door is closed. When nobody's in the shop door is closed.
Heather, that happened years ago. When all that took place, I don't know when Brandy actually said that. Like when we were talking, but when that actually happened, that was years ago.
Yeah, that was pre-buggy.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And they
Hell,
were really.
that might have even been before Michael
Yeah, because she said they were
was
really
born.
drunk, like drinking liquor and stuff that night.
I have a question real quick. Do you know if law enforcement stated anything about that private investigator that tried to get kind of close and all that stuff? The one that I believe got close to Sleuthy Goosey and kind of worked on stuff. What is the deal? I'm just trying to clear that up, Crystal, if you know about that with Brandy.
I'm not sure which private investigator we're talking about because I know that Brandy was informed of somebody that was pretending to be a private investigator.
CJ, right? CJ, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, not even her. This was somebody completely different. Yeah. They went to the police station pretending to be a private investigator. They told Brandy like what the car looked like and stuff, and we were able to figure out who it was. I remember her name, but I'm not going to say it on here. But then the whole CJ debacle, I'm not even talking about her. I refuse to waste my breath on her. I won't do it. Not worth my energy and time. But I will say that Brandy did not trust her or like her at all.
Why do you, just one more question about that? Like, why do you think that is? Was it because law enforcement? Was it law enforcement telling her like don't trust this woman or?
No, it was because Brandy found photos on her Facebook of her at the Fruitland Park right around the time that her son went missing, and because she was so back and forth with being on Brandy's side and then being on the opposite side and then being
Thank you,
on Brandy's side.
Jessica. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. She kept bouncing back and forth. She was trying to do the whole get both sides of the story. And Brandy noticed that and seen it pretty quickly, and that's when Brandy was like, "Hey, do me a favor. Find out what she knows." So that's when I reached out to her and talked to her, and I was only doing that because Brandy asked me to. I wanted nothing to do with her back then either.
Oh, wow. Are we talking initial A?
No, CJ,
Oh,
your crayon friend.
oh, yeah, I love her. She's so great. She's my favorite. Fucking idiot. Sorry, I did it again.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up because it's like, it's very odd that things get leaked out that only, like, let's just say a detective would know. There's been misinformation coming out from FPD that had to be corrected. And I'm very concerned. Like, I'm sincerely, sincerely concerned about this.
So that's what I was talking about the other day when I said I think that someone was giving her information they weren't supposed to be. And that's why FPD became so hush hush, deleted everything, and had to say that, things weren't cleared. And there was, because Brandy said that the Honda Pilot was cleared. Everybody's heard that in that recording, it's everywhere. Then FPD said, no, it's not. And then Brandy backtracked and was like, well, when she did like the lives on YouTube, because she didn't want anybody publicly to know that the Honda Pilot was cleared. And we were like, you should be screaming that from the rooftop so that people aren't looking into people with Honda Pilots. Like, why are we keeping this a secret? None of us could understand, like, why are we keeping this? We need to change the billboards. We need to change a lot of things because that Honda Pilot is being looked at with your child. And
Oh my
so she would,
gosh.
yeah, so she would go on these lives and say, I don't quote me word for word, but it was like, she went with like Chris McDonough, and I think she said something along the lines of, we think that it has been cleared, or we think that I think it's been established. That's what it was. Dope. Thank you. Um, and she would never say anything for certain, but she told us that the Honda Pilot was cleared. So when FPD came out and said, it hasn't been cleared, we all just kind of sat there dumbfounded, like, wait a second, what? Now it's not cleared? Like, we were so confused. Like, was she hearing what she wanted to hear from a certain detective, or was she just coming up with her own story? Like, it was so confusing because all of us were like, oh my god, that's amazing news. Like, that's a huge step in the right direction for Michael. We need to change the billboards and let them know, you like we're not looking for a Honda Pilot anymore. This isn't what we're looking for. And then we asked her, like, have you watched the video with the man? Does he look familiar to you? Like, can they release that? Just all kinds of different things that we were, trying to get her to do and ask them about. And we were like, can they release like what time you came home so that people stop saying, you were home earlier that day, or something, anything. Like, is there anything that FPD can say that can show the public that you guys aren't guilty? Like, is there anything that they can come out and say? And Brandy had a conversation one night with someone, and they were talking, and I had recorded that. And they were talking about, well, I can see why they don't clear you, because even if you were at work, maybe you set something up, and just not saying that that's what happened, just saying that these are possible scenarios, and even if she was at work, why they couldn't clear her. And that made sense to us, and we were like, well, yeah, that makes sense. They're making sure that they have all of their information correct before they're like, okay, these parents are cleared. But that whole Honda Pilot thing, like, it threw me and the rest of us for the biggest loop, because we were all so excited when she came back on January 20th and told us the Honda Pilot has been cleared. Like, we were ready to scream it from the rooftops, like, oh my god, this is the biggest accomplishment yet. And then she was like, well, we're not telling anybody that. And then we're like, wait, what? And that's when she says in that recording, misdirection is a good thing when you're looking at other things. And we were like, huh?
Yeah, I mean, let's just say, I'm just going to put this on the table. Let's just say it really is the rarity of a stranger or acquaintance abduction. Okay. Oh, hold on. I think you're. Is it me that's crackling, or am I okay?
I'm not crackling.
Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing crackling. Why do you think that this would be happening? What are your guys' theories on why this would be a thing outside of misguiding the case? Is there anything that y'all can think of? It's a
I can
hard
think of lots
question.
of things. It is. It's a very hard question because there's a ton of things, none of them positive, none of them enlightening.
Yeah, I mean, like, the first thing that I could think of is like reward fund money thing, or like, I don't know, just for the hell of it. Uh, Ego. I just don't know. I don't understand. That's the one question that, of all of them, I just can't wrap my head around. You want honesty to the public so that they can find your son with the most factual information. And I'm not saying they're guilty of anything at all. I'm saying the behavior is hella odd. And we all know that. Like, that's not normal. Good night, those that are going to bed. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Good night, Brooke. Is there anything else that you feel like you need to get off your chest? And there, whoever's in the chat, if you want to come on panel, it's to get things off of your chest that you're feeling. This is including the Twitter weasels, gang gang. You can come up here and express how you feel too, because it hasn't been easy for anyone who has been busting their tail, y'all. You have no idea the work that's been put into trying to find Michael, and it had to be double as much as you would think with Summer, because no one was listening. No one was listening until these two ladies, came forward and spoke their truth. Without them, I don't think that we would be here at all. I think we would be just like, the case was back in August. Justice for All asks, so there's no confirmation what time Brandy got home that day. I mean, that's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Twice. And
every time the timeline changed, what time she got home changed. And when she was talking about the geofencing, we asked her, well, can they confirm what time you got home? And she said, they're not looking into us, or they're not
hey,
worried
Fizzle.
about us.
Dope Soul says it's been 9 months of work day and night. I see it. And that's why I kind of took over the battlefield that all of you were kind of facing. Not kind of, you were facing a battlefield with Brandy specifically, and the people around her that support her on another level. It's not just the normal level, like, oh my God, leave her alone, this poor thing. No, it was, I would go to jail for her. I would, knock a bitch out for her, and violent, unnecessary, ridiculous. It's not normal.
Nope.
And big shout out to Dope and the media outreach team. Like, Dopey Dope, you're the best. Without every single one of these ladies, I'm telling you, there's a part to play And some have certain skill sets more so than others. And yeah, am I speaking like we're some kind of task force, like, America? But no, we are human beings with a heart that are seeing law enforcement dragging their tails, waiting for, data to come back that uncooperative people aren't coming forward with. And so what do? You just sit there? There's no way in hell I would sit here if it were my son and wait. There's no way. None. And I know that most of the people in chat would agree.
Avery's mom, in my opinion, from seeing them and talking to them daily, they weren't on drugs that would have done anything to Michael.
They would have made him nauseous and very, very sleepy. Other than that, that's it.
Yeah, they weren't on something that could have hurt him like that. That's just my opinion, and from what I noticed by talking to them, I don't think they were on hard drugs.
And mine as well, from having been there.
Josh, that's a great question. I think that question even took Brandy and Tyler, or that statement even took Brandy and Tyler by surprise, just by the look on Brandy's face. I would like to know that too.
Yeah, that I know what you're talking about. It was that look of like, oh, well, how could okay. And I'm not trying to be snooty or ugly. I really mean this though. I would be throwing the chairs, like I said on Jay for Justice's live. I would be throwing the chairs. Please, by God, it's been a year. We're in shambles, bawling, snot coming out. You could probably see spitfires coming out of my mouth. Like, that's how I feel is normal, right? But it's hard to kind of say because everybody's different. But this is your chance to shine. Fake it till you make it. It doesn't matter. This is your son, your family. Fight. Not fight each other and fight on YouTube. That's ridiculous. That's why you're seeing people say this is just like the Summer Wells cases because you're making it that way, ma'am. You are.
It's not uncommon for police to say that people are cooperating that aren't. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I feel
Law
like
enforcement can lie to you.
Yeah,
Law enforcement can lie to you anytime they want.
Yep.
Investigators are known for that. To have to kind of work around that kind of stuff. So that's a good insight.
Wait,
Josh.
I didn't get that link. What was that link?
You don't
Sorry,
want that
that's
link,
adult
girl.
dating. Yeah, never know. There's been a couple of questions that have been brought up. Let's just say there was an incident exactly 1 week prior to Michael disappearing that enraged me to the point where I wanted to quit. It felt so out of character, and that was the first time I felt like I didn't know my friend at all. And it made me literally so angry. I mean, it's like I grabbed my things, I hugged the kids, and I left without saying another word before I left. And I went straight to one of my friends, and I was like, "Girl, you would not believe what just freaking happened." And I unloaded it all on her, and she just kind of shrugged her shoulders. And, yeah, well, sometimes people can be that way, and I was just blown away. She was not shocked by what I had said at all, and this woman's known them longer than I have. So it was a really bad situation for me.
Was that specifically related to Michael?
No, it was actually related to the other one.
Oh, the youngest. Mm-hmm. Buggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
the flower vase incident, and how my day went with them and how I was greeted, and then I promptly left. I know you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get
I
into the
do.
details of it, but I wanted to quit. But I couldn't do that to the kids. I couldn't do that to the kids. I honestly, I couldn't do that to my friends. And, still went back. Pissed off, but I still went back.
Right. Real quick, we have a new member, and you know what I got to do? I got to sing. Thank you for being a friend. Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
You liked that, didn't you? Everybody, yeah. I think I have a new career on the horizon. So thank you, Aussie True Crime, for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. You're supporting EquiSearch and Cold Case Foundation, which Chris Madonna, everybody obviously knows about that. And thank you so much. Oh, there was a question that I missed. Let me scroll back up. It was, I think, Dope asked this. Jen, can you explain how Brandy speaks normally versus how she speaks when she is telling a fib?
Well, honestly, up until all this happened, I never thought Brandy would fib. Brandy's a very loud speaker. Brandy will talk loud. Brandy talks with emotion. Brandy, if Brandy's in a good mood, you know it. If Brandy's pissed off, you know it. She is not a quiet speaker. I was played a clip of Brandy recounting something, and as she was saying it, I was just shaking my head in total disbelief because the person who was speaking was not Brandy. Like, oh God, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, Brandy's voice, but the way she was talking, it was just so out of character. It was completely abnormal. It sounded forced. It sounded, I don't want to use that word. I'm not going to use that word, but it sounded just forced. Like, huge difference. Like, when it's just totally different. You don't, I can't even explain this properly right now. But when Brandy's just talking to you, normal Brandy style, there's no hesitation, there's no drawn out words, there's no lag. She's just talking, and it's fast, it's emotional, and it's loud, if that helps.
I think that.
Amy,
Go ahead.
yes, I did tell Ellie about that incident, which is why I'm not going into more detail about that incident, because they have not asked me any more questions on that particular incident.
I think it was Susanna that asked. Justice wants to know if the guests have ever witnessed the parents losing their cool. I have.
I think we can all say that we have witnessed what Crystal and other women witnessed on the phone.
No, yeah.
I mean, is
God,
that completely relevant directly to Michael? It could be, but I think that that's definitely right. Like something law
yeah.
enforcement should keep close
Honestly,
within.
though, who doesn't get mad at their kids, though? And by forced, I mean she was literally trying to force something to come out of her mouth without being in preparation of what she was about to say. It was just, it was odd,
Right.
for lack of a better word. It was just very odd. It didn't sound like my friend.
Everyone is crackling really bad for me. I don't know if it's happening for anybody else, but you guys are like crackling when you talk.
I changed the settings. How does that sound?
That's better.
Good.
You're still
Okay.
crackly for me.
Actually, you're crackly now.
Yeah, everybody is crackling. Hold on a second. Is that better?
I only know. I only know he got uh, his mama's words. He got his ass whooped, and that was because he tried to take off after Ben going down the street. And I don't know the rest of that whole story in detail because honestly, it's changed quite a few times. But yeah, he got his ass whooped big time for that one.
Everyone is cracked up. Not anymore. We are in recovery. We have recovered. I don't think, Crystal, can you still hear the snack, crackle, and pop?
Oh yeah, it's really bad when both of you talk. It's really crackly.
Okay, what about now?
That's a little better.
Okay. All right, let's look and see does anybody want to come on panel and ask a question if the ladies do not mind that's on the panel? There might be something that somebody might need to clarify to kind of clear their mind or get a different perspective about the case. And those surrounding Michael, the ones closest to Michael. Or, you guys can just continue expressing what you feel about whatever you want. It could be anything. Oh, yeah. Crystal, it was your fault. Everything's your fault, girl. I know that's how she feels, and it's not. She made a very brave decision, as well as Jen Hannah, to speak out. Really, it's not easy. I know it could not have been easy when your lives are flipped upside down and you're trying to have to navigate through friendship versus, what doesn't make sense and what's the right thing to do. I couldn't imagine.
I just want to adjust SV. When you babysat, did he try to wander off at all? Nope, not one time. Not one time did he ever try to wander off on me. Now the baby, she's a different story.
Good night, Z. Thanks for coming in. SV says, where'd it go? How did Grandpa interact with the kids? This is very important. That's a good question.
Well, okay, first of all, Grandpa was rarely there. Grandpa was always, I think of I don't even know how many times, 100 times I babysat. I don't even know how many times I babysat. But I think I had only seen him maybe 4 or 5 times. So he was rarely around. And he was always cool with the kids.
He was just kind of there doing his thing. Was he super involved or just when needed?
I don't know if he was actually needed, really.
Oh,
Honestly, I don't know.
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good night, Dopey.
I know that he was, shit. He was very busy with his own mother. She was not well. So Michael and Buggy's great grandmother, um, in and out of the hospital, uh, different hospice, not hospice, like nursing home situations and stuff.
Okay, awesome. I know a lot of people, and how what I know about Grandpa. Do you have any input on that at all? About his timeline or where he was or what his normal routine was?
No, not a clue.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Like he was pretty much to himself or went to
Yeah,
specific places and then come home. He was just very habitual. Okay.
yeah. When he was there, he spent almost all of his time in his room. Crystal's back and still crackling?
And anybody, am I still crackling to everybody?
Not to me.
Not now.
Okay, my kids kept calling and it wasn't coming through. And then finally, like 1,600 calls came through at one time. And I think maybe that was the issue because nobody's crackling for me now either.
That's it. It happens to me when somebody calls that I'm on StreamYard on my phone.
Okay, all right. So I told them that I would call them when they're camping out on a trampoline. So I told them I'd call them when I got off of here. So
Has any shady
No,
characters come over when you were there, like parents, friends, or anything like that?
no, no. The only um, two people that ever came over that I know of came over there actually four. Well, okay, I guess three. So my husband's come over a couple times to bring me food. Um, or there was the one time uh, I took the keys with me, and I took both sets of keys with me instead of just my keys. Um, and then my daughter came over once to visit. Um, she was in town for a minute, and then just the other baby that I babysit's mom would come over to pick up her son, and that was it.
Yeah, that's Grandpa Bob's house. That's Tyler's dad. It's hard to like keep everything in line when you're not from there or know them. Um, but yeah, so Brandy and Tyler and the four kids live within the house. The two oldest ones go back and forth to their dads. So the youngest two are Brandy and Tyler's. The oldest two are Brandy and her ex, James. Clear as mud. Jessica says, when's the last time Tyler and Brandy lived on their own? That's a great question, Jay. I don't know. Do you remember, Jen, when Tyler lived? Because didn't they live together like on Fifth or something like that, or in Payette?
Um, yeah, I know that they were living in one house for quite a while, and then I believe the owners of that house were selling it or something. They had to move. Um, and then they lived in another location, and that place was just horrible for them. And it was, I believe, right after Buggy was born, or shortly after Buggy was born. I don't know the exact time frame. So long ago, that's when they moved in with Bob.
Dope said it was 2019. That probably sounds right from
Yes,
what I saw. Yeah.
that
Um.
is correct. Right after I got married.
So, oh, really? Wow. And he was in your wedding, right, Tyler?
Yes.
Oh, best man. Was
Not
that?
best man. He was one of the groomsmen.
Wow. So, I mean, like I said, people like Tyler and Jen, they were. I wouldn't say close, but y'all were pretty close, right? Like y'all had you went places
Yeah.
together. You did like trivia, I think you said, and it wasn't
Yeah, we
like
did
you were
trivia for quite a while with each other until my friend closed his restaurant, and then trivia had to end, and I was not happy about it. And Tyler enjoyed it because he was able to get out once a week. And
right,
Brandy even came with us a couple times. I don't think she enjoyed it as much.
um
right.
Heather, yes, older boy and girl share a room. SV, Tyler was really good with the older two kids as far as I saw.
No, no, she wasn't.
Tyler. She was asking if Tyler was good with the older kids.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I was reading
Oh.
SV's question above the one you had clicked. Was Brandy jealous? He was no, she was not. No, she was actually at the wedding as well. She had to leave a couple of times because of, I think, the baby. No, not the baby. It would have been, I don't know why she had to leave. Now that I'm thinking about it, something went funky and she had to leave. She was pregnant with Buggy at my wedding.
Yeah, she was huge pregnant with Buggy at your wedding.
Yeah. She looks like a steam train if she wanted to, especially with the with the interview. I mean, she was all about it. So, Jay
she
for
was.
Justice wants to know: have y'all made a timeline on the channel? I mean, yeah. There's a lot of timelines. I'll get with Dope and see what she can send over, because I don't know if it's like mixed or mosh, but I'm sure that there's something that we can send over because I know it's really hard to follow. I know it takes a long time. So I'll get with Dope. Dopey Dope. There is other questions I missed. It turned into a question Q&A. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Yeah, they're coming in. I'm trying to read them and they just keep moving. Trust issues. From what I saw, I don't think there was really trust issues between Brandy and Tyler. They at least they didn't seem that way. They seemed pretty trusting of each other. Pixie, the older kids didn't babysit because they had to go back and forth to their dad's house every other week. Yeah, Tyler worked when Monkey went missing. He just was off the day that he went missing.
Yes. Was Brandy controlling of Tyler? I'm going to go ahead and say this. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
I mean, most definitely she's definitely controlling of what he can and can't say publicly for sure now. But as far as like relationship, I don't think they had like trust issues.
Thank you, Cupcake. So it is 11 o'clock. We've been live for an hour and 23 minutes, and I'm sure you ladies have things to do and places to be and need to get some rest. If there was one thing that you could say that you think will bring some either justice or bring Michael home that Brandy and Tyler can hear, what would you say?
Do what's right, not what's easy.
Girl, I knew you were going to say it. That's perfect. What about you, Jen?
I'm sorry, I'm choking up. I don't know how to answer that. I honestly don't know how to answer that. When this is all over, I hope it has a good ending. And I hope Michael does come home. And I hope that they will be happy.
That's really, really beautiful, Jen, and I hope that that happens too. It has been 1 year too long, which is the hashtag that the beautiful ladies behind the media outreach team has created as an idea, and I think we need to start using that 1 year too long for them, because it's 1 day too long, but when it's 1 year too long, it's another level, and sometimes desperation is a good thing. It's a good thing to have sometimes, and pushing for answers. I just, it blows my mind, guys, that in a day of hyper technological advancement, we can't find these babies. And here's the problem. The timeline leading up to the disappearance, just like JD Huff said, and just like TBI said, is the issue. That is habitual. It is on purpose. There's something wrong with it. And if we can't figure it out, it's going to keep happening. No matter who's guilty of what. If we can't be in tune with our children and our lives and who's around, I don't know if this is ever going to stop. Or if it could be prevented if we're not more hyper vigilant with our children and our timelines and what we do and how we affect everybody around us in their lives. So, is there any other questions that are more vague and just specifically for Crystal and Jen Hannah? I'll take a few and then let's wrap it up. Today has been a day, y'all. And see, toddler Eve is coming because he woke up. Come here, sweetie. He said, I can't believe you're up right now and not cuddling me. Oh, okay. Any questions in the chat? Justice says,
friggin' horrible. I am
7 kids.
Goodness.
Oh, Justice.
Jesus.
Awful.
Oh, God. Kelly, yes, it was.
Yes.
The switch. Yeah, I've actually been wondering that too. All right, guys, my little one is going to take full force. And thank you so much for being here. Much love to you guys and everyone in the chat. We need to bring justice for Monkey and kind of hold the fire to the flame and get him home. And I really hope you guys feel a little bit better knowing you have a place anytime you want to vent or feel, safe about how you feel about Michael and his case and what's going on. So would love to have you back anytime.
Thank you for doing Eve. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. As you know, I always say, drink a lot of water, hug yourself, hug your babies like I am, Mr. Carla Eve. Hug your grandbabies, your fur babies. All of these missing babies need to come home. Let's keep fighting for them. And I will see you guys on the next live. Thank you, panel, and thank you, chat. Shout out to everybody who has been here tonight. Love you all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Damn good question.